You'd be surprised what a man would do. Starting to see pictures, ain't you?
The film brings up two major issues, race and justice, which are topical questions today in America. Why did you choose this historical setting?
Well, you know, one of the things about Westerns that I actually think is one of the strengths of the films is there's probably no other genre that ends up telling, that reflecting the decade in which it was made more than Westerns. I mean, if you look at the Westerns that were made in the 50s, probably when Westerns were the most popular, those Westerns reflected the Eisenhower optimism of the time. America had just won World War II, not by itself, but you couldn't tell them that. And there was a time of great prosperity in America, and the Westerns reflected that aspect. But then if you look at the Westerns that were made in the late 60s going into the 70s, that was a very cynical time in America. And those Westerns oftentimes reflected Watergate and reflected the Vietnam War and campus unrest.
Now, what make a man brave a blizzard and kill in cold blood? I'm sure I don't know.
When I started writing the script, I wasn't thinking about anything that was going on in the real world. I was just telling my little tale, all right, of a bunch of untrustworthy guys trapped together during a blizzard. But then little by little, as I wrote, all of a sudden I started realizing, oh, this really kind of reflects how divided the country is to some degree or another. But that was still the way it was. But then as we started shooting the movie, more and more events in real life started really reflecting what it was we were doing. And so I think it's just one of those situations where, you know, a storyteller gets lucky and just hooks into the zeitgeist of what's going on.
The format of the film, Ultra Panavision 70, it makes for an amazing aesthetic, but it does complicate matters when it comes to distribution and accessibility of the film in its original format. Now, in the digital age of cinema, why are you campaigning for a return to film?
Well, I personally like cinema. All right, cinema, shooting on cinema, and then screening on cinema. To me, digital projection is just television in public at the end of the day. But the thing about it is you shoot that way, and even when it's shown digitally, you know, you can tell that it was shot on film. You feel it, you have that sense of it. You know, it's not shot with the cameras that they use to shoot football games and game shows. However, if I did shoot in 70, because it's so expensive to shoot it that way, then there would be an attempt in some venues to actually show it on film.
I see you ain't got mixed emotions about bringing a woman to a rope.
By woman, you mean her? No, I do not have mixed emotions.
Your character has a very special relationship with another character, Daisy Domergue. Quite a violent relationship, I might say. How did you find doing those violent scenes with Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Well, actually, what you got to do is work it out. You know, we discovered that that chain tying us together was actually a much bigger issue than we thought it was going to be. So we had to sort of, you know, get like Fred and Ginger and make the dance work. The violence itself is in a man's, from this man's point of view, it's like bringing in a feral wild cat who's going to do everything it can to claw you to death. And he's set the rules down. If she breaks those rules, he pops her. And it isn't going to make any difference how many rules he makes. She's going to test him. She's really a very dangerous woman, and she, as you watch the movie progress, you find out just how bad she is.
When you get to hell, tell them Daisy sent you.
For us, it's just fun to unleash this thing, and it takes its time. It's, you know, this is Quentin at his most Tarantino. He's just taking his time, telling his tale, and sit down and enjoy the ride.
If the relatives and the loved ones of the person you murdered were outside that door right now, and after busting down that door, they drug you out into the snow and hung you up by the neck, that would be frontier justice.
It was a game changer working with Quentin. He was the guy that opened the American door to me, if you like. I'd had a long kind of career, working career in Britain. But when I went to America, he's the one that said, come on in, you know, and he helped me get helped me to get where I am today. So he's it's a lifelong, I think, and enduring friendship. I find his screenplays to be some of the best work that's out there for actors to say, just to be in and to say. So yeah, it's cool.
No one said this job's supposed to be easy.
Nobody said it's supposed to be that hard, neither.